was facing an empty agenda before this meeting started and decided to do an educational program because that's usually where we go when we don't have a lot of speakers. It's like, well, maybe it's time to educate so folks can know how to do things, especially how to access the agenda so that they can sign up in advance. So when folks go online and look at what we're doing, they see that we're actually going to have a meeting. There's a reason to sign up in advance if you can. And so part of my goal tonight is to show you how to use the agenda so that you can sign up in advance. That's one of it. But the other piece of this is an educational program is to go over all of the roles that are a function of our meetings and how they happen. And it's more than just this agenda. I'll plant that seed. See if you can think of what are those other roles as we go. What I'd like you to do is look at, I just handed out, there's a handout on every table and they're face down right now. So I'd like you to turn them over. And the first one is a copy of tonight's agenda. What I'd like to do is go down tonight's agenda. This is a speech that is out of the Successful Club series for Toastmasters International. It has another format that's somewhat like what I'm going to do, and mine's always a little different than that. It's 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to do my best to squeeze it in since we've got 3 speakers and do it in less than that if we can. What I encourage you to do is I go down the agenda here. It's copied in a way so that you've got a little place to take notes to remember what it is you want to remember as we go. So the first place I want to start is the different roles in the program. Starting with our Sergeant-at-Arms who brings the meeting to order. Our Sergeant-at-Arms is also the person who makes sure that all of our supplies are here, that helps set up the room before we get started, that anything else you do, Kathy, that I'm not touching on immediately.
Try and start on time.
Gets us started on time, has their own unique way of inviting the room to order and encouraging us to stay focused and on time. So I appreciate that. Then we have our president. Jesse is currently our president here. Our president is the one that sets the tone for every meeting and for our club in general. And I love the way Jesse does it because it has this excitement and caring energy about it that attracts people to come and be here. And so in the very beginning of the meeting, the president is going to welcome our guests and then make any announcements. Usually we'll do inductions at the end of the meeting, but this induction happened at the beginning of the meeting because Matt wanted to speak tonight. And one of our rules, if we follow the rules, is to make sure that you're a member before you get on the speaking agenda. The next item on the list is in our club is the Toastmaster. The Toastmaster gets to be the master of ceremonies for the meeting. Our meetings have themes that are pre-selected. Does everyone know that? Some of you folks don't know. We have pre-selected themes. The theme for tonight happens to be color. If you're the Toastmaster, then you'll weave that theme throughout the meeting, use it as transitions and things like that. If you don't like the theme and you want to be Toastmaster, change it. So make a note that you can change it if you don't know that.
And announce it to everyone.
And announce it to everyone. Once you learn how to send the agenda tonight, you'll be able to announce it to everyone. This club happens to have a humorist and a tipster. And on your sheet here, it says what you can do in order to fulfill those. They're fairly spontaneous. And the humorist you can get credit for in your competent leadership manual. The tipster, I'm not sure whether we use that or not for credit, but it's a fun part of the meeting, so we do it. This meeting has speakers. We work from our manuals for all of our speeches. That's the goal. Because in Toastmasters International, we know that people who work from the manuals actually build skills and progress in accomplishing the goals they came here for. So we really encourage people to work from your manuals as you give your speeches. Table topics is at the middle of the program. And table topics sometimes will follow the theme. Many times it does. That's why we like to have a theme. It gives the table topic person an opportunity to think about how they want to present the table topics for the group, whether you want to use a question that you would ask someone. That's one way you can do table topics, is to ask a question. Another way is you can present a quote and have them give a talk. I've seen people bring in a bag full of objects, and you can pull out an object and have something to talk on. If you Google table topics on Mr. Google's website, you will find hundreds of table topic possibilities that you can do. So where you want to be table topic master and bring something new, we've done improv. There's been a lot of fun things that we've done with table topics, so use your imagination. And that's a great place to start it in a leadership kind of place on the program if you want to play. We have a general evaluator who evaluates the whole meeting and also introduces the functionaries. Did we do that at the start of the program? We usually do that at the beginning of the program so that people who are new understand that there are functionaries in the program and who the grammarian is and who the ah counter is and the timer and the ha counter, so that others that are new are understanding how the program works. And we usually always do that, and tonight, in the interest of time, we skipped it. We have evaluators for the evaluation section of the program. The evaluators are, again, working from the manual. It makes it easier if you're beginning to do evaluations and you're new at it. It's just really easy to go through the manual and just read the purpose of the speech, read the questions, and answer them. That's a really nice, thorough evaluation if you're first time evaluating with people. If you're wanting to stretch beyond the manual, then we talk about the sandwich technique, where you mention the things that they do well, you give them one or two things to do differently, and close it with something that they do well. So sandwiching feedback with positive input is the way we like to encourage people to evaluate. Our grammarian tracks grammar and great uses of the language. I get to do this for all of you guys. I guess it was perfect that you didn't stand up and do it. We wouldn't be replicating it tonight. So as a grammarian, you get an opportunity to design it your own way. If you're into listening for colorful use of the English language, who's tracking this? That's a variation. Then let folks know that that's what you're doing and accentuate that in your feedback. If you love grammar and you want to catch people on dropping their INGs or using the words inappropriately, then go for it. Ah counter, we changed in this club how to do the ah counter. We're emphasizing pauses as opposed to filler words. And so there's a column on the ah counter report where we watch for pauses for people to make emphasis, because we want to use the pauses instead of the ahs and ums. Some people like to be really detail-oriented about tracking ahs and ums, and they'll say, Sal, you had 10 so's, and Walter, 5 ands, and Mike, 3 and buts, and things like that. And then there's others who prefer to say, you know, folks, we need to do a little bit better with our ands and so's. And they keep it simple. You find your style, and the club will give you feedback whether they like it or not. I love that we count ha's. The reason we count ha's is because this club was founded by people who were into, this is my understanding of it, and maybe Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that the people who founded this club were into being entertaining and playful and humorous and having fun in their meeting. And so they started with the ha counter right from the beginning. So that's a seed, and we've...
Actually, that got added just a couple years ago.
Really?
We did it after I was there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
But I think you're right, that energy that was started with the club in the beginning.
Right, and we
carried
wanted
through,
to
and
continue.
at some point we said, you know, we should be having
Right.
laughter as well.
Exactly. And then we have a timer that keeps us on time. We'll do our best here this evening, and I appreciate that. What other roles do people hold in our Toastmaster program that hasn't been mentioned? Anybody know what they are?
The officers.
The officers' roles
The mentors.
and the
Oh, the
mentors,
officer.
right? So we have a president, we have a sergeant at arms, we have a vice president of education who helps to make sure people get hooked up with mentors, who generates the agenda every week, at least once or twice a week, to make sure people get signed up in advance. They help people, they ask questions, how are you progressing towards your goal, and encourage you to fill out forms that we have on our website that are available for you to track, you know, your projects and how you're progressing with those. We have a vice president of public relations, that's Daniel Flood right now, and Daniel is the one that does outreach. We have people that are members of that represent Toastmasters in the Chamber of Readers and other places. We have Facebook, and David helps us with our Facebook and Meetup. He's the support person for the Vice President of Public Relations. And somewhere in our club, we decided that we don't like the VP piece, and we were thinking, you know, there's the education person, there's the PR person, I'm the membership person, we don't need all these titles that go with it. And I liked that, so I'm going to drop that. I catch myself on that. I'm filling in as the membership person because we had somebody move. Membership person helps to get people signed up and does the introductions and explains the program to people that are interested. Our secretary is Sal right now, and Sal takes notes in the meeting. He helps to update the agenda after the meeting when things change. And our treasurer, Cynthia, who's been our treasurer for 3 years.
I think 2.5.
2.5 years. Yeah.
It's been a long time.
She's at the end of her term. She cannot be treasurer anymore. And so I would like to, first of all, acknowledge all those people with a round of applause. Because the people are the ones that hold the energy for everything to happen. But this meeting doesn't happen unless you, as the group, sign up and show up. Sign up and show up. And that's why I wanted to do part B, which is this handout for you on our website. Matt, you won't get an email from me. I will have to personally show you how to sign up and go online and to get this information. So somehow we'll figure out how to do that together. This is, when you go online to the website and you log in as a member, everybody knows how to log in that's here, yes? Okay. You can click on the meeting agenda button, which is the first item on the left, and it brings up this meeting agenda. And the meeting agenda will show a little box alongside each function that says sign up. All you have to do is click on the button that says sign up, which I'm not showing there, but in Kathy's name, there was a button that said sign up. And so just imagine that she clicked that button and she signed up on that role for that meeting. The one piece I wanted to show you folks, if you're a Toastmaster, if you're the president, if you're a sergeant at arms, if you're the vice president of education, if you just happen to notice that the agenda hasn't come out and you're thinking about the meeting, what you do is you send out the agenda to everyone with a little note saying, I just signed up, join me, something like that, so that we get people involved in signing up, especially from over the weekend. We want to see this agenda start to generate over the weekend. And the way that happens is up at the top, you'll see these 4 little boxes at the top of the agenda, and the first one looks like an envelope. And when you click on that envelope, it'll bring up this box that if you turn the page, it looks like what's on the next page. It's called a dialogue box. And it has the subject of the email is our meeting agenda. And then in this box down below that's blank, you just put the cursor in there and click. And then you can type in, greetings fellow Toastmasters, I just signed up, here's the agenda, join me. And you push send, and it goes out and everybody gets the agenda. My goal, again, is to see more names on this agenda when I go online because I don't know, is it possible for people who are guests to see our agenda in advance, or is it just us?
Just us.
Yeah, it's just us. So there are some members, though, that go, when they see it, not signed up. And we don't want kind of energy be that which creates this meeting. We want to have, oh boy, let's go to the meeting, be that which creates this meeting. And for those that can, I encourage you to go and, a couple of days in advance, 3 or 4 days a week if you can, put it on your calendar, schedule it, and sign up. Then finally, I'm going to leave you with this. I just uploaded this form that's called a new member profile to our member downloads. I don't know if you can see it on there. For those that are new, on this same screen that's the home page with the agenda, on the home page you'll see on the left-hand column, underneath members only, it says member downloads. And in the membership file that's in there, you'll see this new member profile. It gives you a chance to think about what your goals are here. I encourage you to fill it out for you, because nobody's going to make you do this. This is something that's self-initiated and self-inspired. I encourage you to use it with your mentor so that together you can decide what you need in terms of support and things like that. Then in closing, what I'd like to encourage is that you think about, when you do the profile, how much of your reason for being in Toastmasters might have to do with your desire to influence other people in a very big way. And that means to take on leadership kind of roles. We're at a point in our term right now where the leadership roles are turning over. And there's going to be lots of opportunities for people to take a leadership role this time. I know if you're brand new, that's probably not, it's too soon. And yet, those that have been around for a little while, maybe you can think about how you might want to step up and fill some leadership roles. We'll be contacting you as we go. And as soon as Mike finds out that he's the nominating committee chair again. And with that, I would like to return the meeting to our Toastmaster. Thank you.